We have some very special guests with us today. Everyone is a very special guest, but I'm just delighted to have some really good friends and people who have made such an impact in the world in open education. I'm getting like weepy. Um, our four guest speakers today have done extraordinary work, and I have learned so much from them, and they make me a better person. They make me better at my work, and I'm so, so grateful for you all. So let me tell you who's going to be chatting with us. Um, First of all, James Glopper-Grossklag, Educational Technology, Learning Resources, and Distance Learning Dean at College of the Canyons. James and I have traveled the world together. We have served on a number of boards and gotten to do a lot of great work. We've collaborated on so many different projects. I got to help them with some of their OER in hydrology because I taught hydrology for 15 years. We've worked on all sorts of projects. We've served on the Community College Consortium for Open Educational Resources and OE Global together. It's just so fun to always get to see James and to engage with him and to learn from him. He is doing amazing work for the state of California. He's leading the OER efforts in this massive grant in California. In addition to his work at College of the Canyons, he's also doing some really cool work in Taiwan. And if you get a chance to talk to him, like definitely chat with him because he's so interesting and he's done such cool work. My friends from MIT, Sarah Hansen and Shira Siegel, are Sarah serves as the Assistant Director of Open Ed Innovation at MIT, and Shira Siegel is the Collaborations and Engagement Manager at MIT. These two women are extraordinary. Have so many brilliant ideas, and they're able to make them all happen. Their level of detail and care is absolutely extraordinary. Not only that, they are amazing friends who, when you go to Boston, they will take you to the best places. They are also amazing to travel with, and they are just so dear to my heart. I'm so grateful to have them in my life, and I'm so grateful that they're going to be able to share some of the work that they are doing, what they're doing in regard to their partnership with community colleges, specifically College of the Canyons and Maricopa. Is really amazing in that MIT grant that we didn't really have a better name for, really bringing MIT resources to our faculty, but also hearing and giving voice to our faculty in the use of the MIT OpenCourseWare, which was such a privilege to work on. Last but not least is my good friend, Megan Crossfield. Megan is the manager of academic initiatives at Yavapai College. And she is a very good friend. We're kind of neighbors. And we have been able to do so much work. The work that she and Matthew Bloom have done to create a network of OER practitioners and champions across the state of Arizona is unprecedented. As you know, Arizona doesn't have an organization that brings all 10 community college districts and the 3 universities together, but they did that. And it's so wicked cool. I'm so grateful for being able to just grab a cup of coffee with Megan all the time and be able to brainstorm, get ideas. These 4 individuals are just really special people in open education. And so I'm thrilled for them to be here. What's going to happen is Megan's going to share kind of that Arizona perspective. Shira and Sarah are going to kind of touch on the national perspective. And then James is going to talk a bit about the national global perspective and the work that you all have done and how it's received. And so I'm really grateful that they're here with us. So please welcome Megan Crossfield, and she's going to be able to share some great stuff.
Well, thank you, Lisa. That was absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure working with you and working with so many individuals in this room. So for those that I haven't had the pleasure to meet, My name is Megan Crossfield, and I am about an hour and a half north of you in Prescott, Arizona at Yavapai College. And yes, I am the manager of academic initiatives, but one of my other roles right now is acting as the current board president for the OE Arizona Network. And so being here today and being able to talk about what we have done for this network is truly amazing. And the energy in this room is just mind-blowing. So I really am excited to be here to share with you what we have been doing if you haven't heard about it already, and to see how you can further get involved. So we're gonna take a little time trip in the back or the past to 2018, which I wasn't here for. And so in 2018, there was a group of folks, and I would name off people, but I'm going to miss people. So if you were part of that conversation in 2018, there's been a lot of standing up and down for everyone here. Please stand up to talk about how this whole thing came about. So I know that there was Matthew, I'll name people, Lisa, Debbie, and if there was anyone else that I'm missing, because this really originated with the Open Maricopa Project and Maricopa Millions and the Maricopa Community College District. The idea came out of this district. And it was essentially an idea of bringing together all of the community colleges, the state universities, to be a network. And for the past, like the first, 3-4 years, it was really more Maricopa and the 3 state universities. I think Pima College was included in that mix, but the rural colleges was a challenge. And in 2021, Yavapai College received a open textbook pilot grant, so a federal grant, to create a consortium of the rural colleges, so the remaining 8 community colleges in the state of Arizona. And we started doing work. That's how I was hired, was to manage this grant. And it was a great experience. And as I'm doing this work, I'm kind of hearing about OE Arizona. What is this? It's a state network. I'm like, well, how are we not involved in this? And so that's how I got connected with Lisa and with Matthew. And we kind of hashed out like, well, how could we elevate this and bring it to be truly a statewide network? And so in 2023, we rebranded, re-envisioned, and elevated the existing OE Arizona network. So we'll go back one slide. Yeah. And so last summer, we had a group of individuals that did a leadership summit. We were in person. I know there was a few of you there in person, which was fantastic. And we really came up with what is going to be our mission, our vision, and our core values. And so you see that really it is focusing on uniting Arizona educators and learners, and with the goal of having all Arizona educators and learners just recognize and embrace the transformative power of open education. And we took it beyond open educational resources to open education, because we don't want to just be focusing our future on the resources piece of it, but the whole component of what is open education. And so that was our goals and our vision for the future. And that was a whole day and a half activity. It was a lot of strategic planning, brainstorming. The amount of Post-it notes and large Post-it notes and written paper that we had was a lot. We took all of that, and this is what came out of it, was our mission, vision, and our core values, which is the driving force of what this network is. And like Lisa said, this really is a grassroots effort. We do not have a state system telling us to do this work. And we'll go to the next slide. At this point, we have a network of all the community colleges, the 3 state universities, and some of the tribal colleges in Arizona. That is truly impressive when we're not being told to do this work. It is because of your passion and what you bring to the table. So it gives me goosebumps every time I think about it, because it really is amazing. So kudos to you, everyone in this room, everyone online, because it started here and it has grown to a statewide effort. So things that we have been doing since the merger, I'll call it a merger, in 2023, we have now an OER Arizona hub on OER Commons. So it is a statewide hub where we can share resources, collaborate with each other, and share out. So I encourage you to check out the hub and share the stuff that you have been creating, because so much has come out of this district. To be able to share it with the rest of the state is super helpful because it is a community. And especially for some of our smaller colleges that have a department of one or sometimes none, it's really helpful to be able to collaborate with educators across the state. We've had many different professional development opportunities. Most recently we had our 7th annual OER Arizona Network, which was truly amazing. For the first time ever, we had a conference where we had more proposals than we could actually program. Which I know doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but that was how many people were actually submitting proposals. And the majority of those proposals came from people within Arizona. So we are really trying to showcase and highlight the work that we're doing here. And I'm writing this down because I will forget certain things. So we also at the conference for the first time launched annual awards to try and recognize faculty trailblazers, instructional designers, librarians, and collaborative work happening across the state or within your own institutions. And we had a group of psychology faculty, maybe there's some in the room, I don't know everyone, that were recognized for that collaborative work. So congratulations to that group. Also for professional development, we're in the process of building out 3 asynchronous courses that are going to be living on our hub to support faculty with learning about OER, how to build OER, how to utilize the hub when they're building out OER, and then also how to become strategies for increasing your OER advocacy at your institution. So we're utilizing our open textbook pilot grant to build out those courses. And the goal is to truly support institutions once the funding goes away. And I know here in Maricopa that may not be as big of an impact, but for some of our smaller colleges, once our little grant goes away, we don't want the work to fizzle out. So being able to continue providing professional development and providing the resources to share out is really impactful. Let's see. We have at least one institutional representative from each of our colleges. So I know there's a group of you in this room, but to have an institutional representative from all of the 10 Maricopa community colleges, at least one from all of the rural colleges, the state universities, that's huge. And the goal of having an institutional representative is we're going to be doing quarterly meetings, and they're going to be a liaison between the network and the institution. And so being able to bring back information, continue to engage the institution within the network to increase that collaboration, because this is not a solo activity. I've been hearing it across the whole room. It really isn't a solo activity. And so the more that we can collaborate, not only within our college, our district, but across the state, you're supporting other educators and students that oftentimes are coming from institutions that don't have nearly as much resources. So it really is very helpful. Oh gosh, and here I am, one that's getting a phone call while I'm speaking. So what is next? So we'll go on to the next slide really quick, which is really just going to be a QR code to our website. So what next is we really want to try and focus on strengthening that cross-institutional collaboration. I know here in the district, you collaborate across all your different 10 community colleges, but trying to increase that collaboration across the state so we can support all of our institutions, especially the ones that are very small, are struggling with engagement. I know, Lisa, you spoke about having it be a grassroots effort with the executive leader sponsorship. And as I've worked with all the different colleges, that's where you see the success. We've had huge success at Yavapai College because of that same model and structure. And there are a lot of institutions in Arizona that are struggling. You have that grassroots effort, but they're not able to move it forward because they're lacking that leadership support. And so being able to continue to collaborate will help those institutions move the needle at their institution. Increase student and faculty partnerships. So we want to really focus on not only the OER as the resource and the tool to create open access, but looking at how we can collaborate between institutions and faculty and involving students. So I love the student panel. It was so insightful. It was great to hear from students. And I think the more we can engage and involve students in the work, the better the work is going to be. And then also focusing on research. So we're in the process of putting out nominations for half of the board because we're going to do a 2-year, 3 people come on, 3 people stay. It's a board of 6 people. And one of the things that Debbie brought up was we don't really need a secretary role, but it would be great to have someone that focused on doing some research and evaluation and looking at it from a state level. So we're in the process of filling that role along with 2 other roles. So that will be coming out soon. So that way we can try and get some sort of cohesive state data. It's really challenging when you're not being told to do this work. How do you find consistent data? What would be impactful for us to look at as a state? And so having that person will be really helpful. So I know I said a lot, but the QR code will take you to our website, which has a Get Connected button. So I encourage you to get connected. It's essentially joining our Google group, and it's used to share out information. Our Matthew and I's thought of this Google group is that if you have a question, just send it out to the Google group, and hopefully someone will respond. It's not meant to be just an announcement. It's meant to be a way to say, I'm struggling, or I don't know how to get involved in this, or I need some support, and having your Arizona colleagues to be able to jump in and say, well, I'm doing the same thing over here in Arizona Western College or Eastern Arizona College, and then being able to encourage that cross-institutional collaboration. You can also get to our hub through the website. So that is all the various resources. And I literally have this written out. I'm going to read it because I really liked this one sentence. I was like, I'm not going to read a script, but I wrote one out anyways because it helps. But I want to conclude with the fact that OER Arizona didn't start with a policy. It started with people, with conversations, with connections, with commitment. And for that reason, I believe we have built something that will last. So a lot of the times you hear these initiatives come out because there's a lot of funds or they're being mandated to do the work. And we're not in any of those pots. We're doing it because we want to. And I think because of that, we will outlast some of these other initiatives that are being pulled to do the work. So we're very unique here. And it really did start with many of the people in this room. So thank you for everything that you are doing. If you have questions or you want more information about how to get involved with the network, you could ask me, or you can ask Matthew, Debbie, because they're both on the board with me. Thank you again.